This plane could lift a single piece of cargo heavier than a blue whale. This one is basically two airplanes welded together. This one flew exactly once for 30 seconds and never again. And the biggest of them all, it hasn't even been built yet. These are 7 of the most enormous aircraft the world has ever seen, and trust me, I saved the best for last. 1. Airbus A380. Let's start with one you might have actually been inside. Almost every plane on this list is exotic, stuff a normal person never sees up close, but the Airbus A380 flies people like you on normal vacations. It's the biggest passenger plane ever built. 2 full decks running the entire length, room for over 850 people if you really pack it in, staircases inside, and some airlines even fit showers and a bar up front. Walking on for the first time genuinely doesn't feel like boarding a plane. It feels like boarding a building. So you'd think it was a massive success, right? Here's the twist. Airbus stopped making them. Airlines wanted smaller, cheaper, more efficient jets, and this beautiful giant just didn't fit the future. The last one rolled off the line in 2021, a masterpiece that showed up a little too late. Lockheed C-5 Galaxy. That one carries people, this next one carries tanks, and you can drive straight through it. The Lockheed C-5 Galaxy opens at the front and the back. The entire nose lifts straight up like a visor, the tail swings open too, and vehicles roll in one end and out the other. Inside, 2 main battle tanks, or 6 attack helicopters, or a couple hundred fully loaded troops. It can even kneel, dropping its whole body so the cargo floor sits at about truck bed height. Because why not make a plane that crouches for you? And it's been doing this since 1969 through Vietnam, Iraq, Yugoslavia, and Afghanistan. Every major conflict, same plane still flying. When a country needs to move an army somewhere fast, this is the plane that gets the call. The crews change, the wars change, the Galaxy just keeps showing up. 3. Antonov An-225 Ruslan. But the craziest cargo in the sky isn't military at all. Meet the Antonov An-225 Ruslan, locomotives, yachts, the fuselages of other airplanes, generators the size of a house. If it's too heavy, too wide, or too ridiculous to move any other way on Earth, somebody charters one of these. It kneels down and swallows the load through a nose that swings wide open, and the cargo hold is so cavernous that ground crews sometimes ride bicycles inside it to get from one end to the other. For years, the biggest production aircraft on the planet, over 100 were built, and they're still flying commercial charters today, moving the things that simply don't fit anywhere else. And believe it or not, this giant had an even bigger brother. Hold that thought. 4. Hughes H-4 Hercules Spruce Goose. Okay, time travel. It's 1947. World War II is over, and a billionaire named Howard Hughes is dragging a giant wooden airplane into a California harbor. Wood, because wartime metal was rationed, so he built the largest flying boat ever made almost entirely out of birch. Everyone mockingly called it the Spruce Goose. The press said it would never fly. The government said he'd wasted millions, so Hughes climbed in, fired up 8 engines, and during what was only supposed to be a slow taxi test across the water, he pulled it into the air, about a mile 70 feet up for less than 30 seconds, and that was it. It never flew again, not once. Every other plane on this list has a career, missions, records, decades of service. This one has 30 seconds and a point proven, but that single flight shut every critic up and gave it a wingspan record that would stand for more than 70 years, until one absolutely insane machine finally broke it. 5. Stratolaunch Roc. This is the machine that broke it. Look at the Stratolaunch Roc and try to figure out what you're even seeing, because it isn't one plane, it's 2. 2 full fuselages joined by a single wing so long it would stretch across an entire football field through both end zones and still hang off the ends. 385 feet tip to tip. The widest wingspan of any aircraft in human history, The pilots sit in the right-hand body, the left one totally empty, because this whole bizarre thing is really a launch pad with wings. It hauls vehicles up to altitude and drops them so they can ignite their engines in midair and accelerate to hypersonic speeds without wasting fuel clawing off the ground. In December 2024 and March 2025, it dropped its Talon A test vehicle over the Pacific, which then hit speeds past Mach 5 and landed back on a runway. A reusable hypersonic aircraft caught and flown again. 6 jumbo jet engines, a catamaran of the sky, and right now it's the heaviest plane flying anywhere on Earth, but not the heaviest ever. That title belongs to a plane that no longer exists. 6. The heaviest aircraft that ever left the ground and the saddest story on this list. The Antonov An-225 Mireya. The name literally means dream. 6 engines, 32 wheels, a cargo hold longer than the entire distance the Wright brothers flew on their first flight. Only one was ever finished, that bigger brother of the Ruslan I told you to remember. And for over 30 years it held the record as the heaviest aircraft on Earth, lifting single loads heavier than a blue whale. The Soviet Union built it for one job, to carry their space shuttle on its back. And here's the heartbreaking part. In February 2022, it was sitting in a hangar near Kyiv when the war reached it and the Mireya was destroyed on the ground. The dream gone. There's a second half-finished airframe still sitting in a factory, and people argue to this day about whether it'll ever be completed. 7. Doesn't exist yet. Because the biggest airplane the world has ever seen might still be coming. It's called the Windrunner, built by an American company called Radia, and on paper it's longer than anything that has ever flown. Longer even than the Mireya. Its mission is weirdly specific, carrying wind turbine blades. Modern blades have grown so enormous, over 100 meters long, that you literally can't truck them down a road anymore. The corners are too tight, the bridges are too low, so Radia's plan is to just fly them and land this monster on short dirt strips out in the middle of nowhere. The goal is to get it airborne by the end of the decade. Whether it will succeed is anyone's guess, but if it does, every record you just learned about will be broken. Well, as a result, I can only say one thing. From a passenger jet you can ride, to a wooden legend that flew for 30 seconds, to a dream destroyed by war. These are the giants that shouldn't fit in the sky, but do. So tell me in the comments, which one would you most want to see in person, and which one are you genuinely stunned ever got off the ground?